छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन है छाया आसमान देखो झूमता गगन
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Saturday night. You are in the star room. And we're looking at charts. Saturday, March 7th, 2026. We got our sacred sage and cedar and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we got to get to work. Might be a slow night. I have not gotten, nobody's contacted me ahead of time for tonight. So that means that we're just going to go right to the chat. Frank, I did get your quick email. Yep. Not a problem. We'll take a look. See how you show up in the chat. Let's get the chat on the screen for me to see anyway. I'm still hanging in there with this funky stuff, so just bear with me. And it's first come, first serve. You want a reading? I give speed readings. You show up in the chat. That's how we do it. First come, first serve according to the chat. For those of you who have the means, if you want me to spend more time on your chart, you gift the channel, and I gift you back with the time that I spend on your chart. Down below in the details, you can find the Cash App, the PayPal, the Venmo. Actually, I don't think I put my PayPal down there. Just the Venmo and the Cash App. But yeah. Sorry, I have to watch this candle. We'll see what's going on. You know, when you got kitty cats, you got to be careful. Okay, so let me see what we got going on here. Let me kind of move some things around. Let me get this. I don't know. I'm just going to go through here. All righty. So we are here. We are live. Yeah, if you want a reading, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, birth time, right? That's the number one, right? Birth time and your location and the date. I need all of those items to draw up a astrology chart for you. All right. Sometimes folks don't have a birth time. And if you are like, hey, I don't have my birth time, but I want a chart anyway, well, you know what happens? We create a chart called a noon hour chart. If you don't have a birth time, your reading may not be accurate. That's how that works. So I can only give you generalities, like I won't have your houses. I won't have any of that. Makes a big difference. The houses tell where the things happen in your life. All right? Just so everybody's clear. Yeah. Sinister days. What's going on, sinister days? You're number one. Joe. I don't think I have your stuff. I don't recognize your name, Joe. Joe Buono, 8104. I don't have your digits, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You would be number 2. Number 3. Fairy there. What's going on, Fairy there? How are you? Been a while. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, Fairy there. It looks like you're on the vertical format. If you want to find us on the horizontal to see the chart, go to the YouTube channel page. You go to my YouTube channel page, go where it says live streams, and then it gives you both the options. And you can pick which one you like. Okay, so then we got Frank, you're then number 3, I think. Sinister Joe, Fairies number 3, I'm sorry. Frank, you'd be number 4. Lady Lovelace Official would be number 5, but I don't Lady Lovelace Official, I don't think I have your digits. Pretty quiet evening, it sure is. Oh, y'all had nice weather, that's nice. Ooh, tornado warnings, that's not nice. Oh, she's hanging in there, Fairy there, thanks for asking. She's hanging in. It's every day, every moment for her is a real struggle. It's a real struggle. I am fortunate that I've had a few other siblings helping out with with helping her, just through her day-to-day routines. And anyway, it's a very confusing world for her. So it's always difficult and tricky. So don't know what time. I see that. Yeah. So you wouldn't have a birth time. I see that, Joe. You wouldn't have a birth time then. I would just create a noon hour chart. Again, less accurate with a noon hour chart. I mean, you could still get some information, but trying me to pinpoint timing of things for you, you wouldn't really want to use it for that. Okay. And Fairy there, yeah, how the heck have you been? Hope you're good. It's been a while. Hopefully that means you've been traveling and and enjoying yourself. Oh, we got someone with some digits right in the chat. Very good. Somebody who pays attention. Well, these other folks, I already have their digits, to be fair. Hold on. Okay. So, yeah, however you show up in the chat in that order, right? Those are your numbers. Sinister, number 1. Joe, number 2. Fairy there, number 3. Frank, number 4. Lady Love, number 5. And then we just keep going like that. Whoever the next new person is, the next new name would be number 6 after that. I'm seeing some of the same. Okay, so it's going to be a slow. Oh, so you'd be number 7. That'd be you. You'd be number 7, I think. Did I skip a number? My brain, this freaking Mercury and Pisces is kicking my ass in so many ways. But you got your digits. Very good. All right. Yeah, Lady Lovelace, have you been here before? If you've been here before, and if I took them, I just don't recognize that name. Sometimes people come into the live stream and they have a different name, and that really confuses things. Sometimes they have a different name every time they come to the live stream, and it doesn't match any name I have in my system. So that's a possibility. And if that's what's going on, then yeah, that means I'm searching and looking. And yeah, if y'all don't make it clear for me, I'm just going to the next person. It becomes I eat up a lot of time, and it's not too fair when it eats up the time for people who are waiting. But let me, yeah, if I have you in that name in the system, then great. If not, then we'll need them again. And I'm looking at my L's. I got nothing here into that. Maybe you were here once a while back. This is, yeah, I have a new system. The old system I usually have sitting right next to me so I can kind of get digits from charts I've had from a long time ago, like years back. I don't have that access to that tonight, so it's okay. Yeah, you'll get a spot. If you're here and you're patient, you were just before. Well, that makes a big difference, folks. Yeah, makes a big difference. So if you haven't been here in a while, but you've been here before, especially if it was under a different name, please put your digits in again so I can put you into the new system. Again, if I'm trying to figure out and trying to match names, I'm going to the next person in line because it just doesn't make sense. So let's start off with Sinister Days. Sinister Days, are you here? If you are, you're number 1. What are we looking at? Let's see what's going on in your world. Sinister Days. Did you have a question? I see you made a payment. Great. Thank you for the gift. Awesome. I don't know if you had a question attached to it. No, I didn't see a question attached to it. How you want to do this, Sinister Days? Whatever you see. You did. Thank you. Yeah, I see it. Okay. All right. Much appreciated. Let's get you into this onto the screen. Let's get you up in here. I know I'm busy looking at this other alternative United States chart. Okay. But in the meantime, we'll put Sinister Days up on the screen. And we'll go like that. All right, great. Thank you so much for the Cash App. All right, so let's see what we can see here for you. All right, so you're serious. I don't know if this happened last time you were on or what, but this just jumped out really big. You have Cancer in the 4th house, which is fascinating in that you're going to actually have Jupiter touching right there on your Sirius. So nurturing from the past, nurturing being around people who feel like family, people who are family. Let's see if that's a trine. Yeah, you do have a trine. Let me see if you got anything that angles that in an uncomfortable way. A little bit. You got Pluto and Juno there that create some stress and tension. Okay, so this can be one of those love-hate type of things. and this is kind of common, actually. I'm seeing this a lot in charts, especially like in the last 9 months, where people have some beautiful things set up where life can just be kind of rolling along and it's going well and beautiful and you're enjoying yourself. And then all of a sudden, that very same thing that gave you joy kind of becomes a source of pain and discomfort. So when Jupiter gets here, right now we got Jupiter at 15. And so this will talk about home and family, but right now communication on 10, big time, amped up communication with home and family. And maybe things pertaining to home and family and mom and history and possibly the past. Your 3rd house is siblings. So there's a it's what Jupiter does is it just kind of adds to all that, especially with Mercury. Look at Mercury's at 16, conjunct your 12th house cusp line right now, right? Well, actually, it's in it. Mercury and the Sun are together in your 12th house. So this means things that are kind of on the hidden, right? There can be reveals, but we're waiting. We don't have the full picture. We don't have the full story because the Mercury red goes backwards. So it's now about to dip into your 11th house because it goes back to 8 degrees. And look what you have at 8 degrees. You have Hercules there at 8 degrees, and that's where this Mercury is going to go. So this is in the location of friends and group energy. Friends and group. The 8 degrees talks about bonded energy, soul energy. Some even consider the 8 degrees connected to, I don't want to use the word fated energy, but there is like uncovering soul stories because the 8 degrees will show us what's been below the surface, what's been hidden. And God, we've been seeing this globally, right? We've been seeing it like the most undesirable shit that we don't want to hear about, we don't want to see. We're seeing it and we're like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. And so Hercules in the 11th house might be showing you things possibly within the group energy, within friends, because it's the 11th house. So this social circles, whether it's social programs, because you have Pisces there, things about the social programs. But Hercules is known to have like a spiritual strength. And having that spiritual strength at the 8 degree mark is a big deal because that's Scorpio energy, that's Pluto energy. That's I have this reserve of power like that you didn't know you had. And Hercules tends to be able, like Hercules lessons and the stories, the myths teach us that it's not about the muscles and the weaponry. It's about my soul's ability, like the plethora of wisdom that your soul has, that you have to draw from and to use on how to handle challenging situations. Wherever the 8 degree mark is, which is right now where the node is at, you see North Node at 8 degrees on your Hercules. And I just put up a video not too long ago. I don't know if anybody saw it, but it talks about this 8 degrees. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because it's soul stories, it's soul connections. It talks about so much rich in history and in the past, but on a soul level, on an alternative reality level, even possibly, depending upon how you kind of view all that, right? Whether you believe in another life or past lives or whatever, there's just an underlying source of knowledge and power and information. And change is the key word. Change. And change is. Anytime we see 8 degrees, think Phoenix rising, thinks there's change. And somebody made a comment on the channel under that video about Pluto, because 8 degrees Pluto, by the way. It's Pluto and Mars. So they made the comment about Pluto ultimately representing peace. Well, typically Pluto, the keyword is not peace for Pluto. Because wherever you see Pluto, wherever you see the number 8, it talks about change. So a metaphorical death, a physical death, an ending of some sort, and then a rebirth. So the fact that the Mercury's going backwards will touch that 8 degrees in your chart. And that is also where the Mercury then does go forward at the 8 degrees. This is extremely personal for you, very personal. And having the Hercules and the node there. And let's see what else is going on, because I started talking about your 4th house, and it speaks to the water energy was the whole point, because it's all about the past. It's all about the karmic connections when we talk about the Pisces energy. So there may be things unfolding. God knows we've been seeing and watching and witnessing things unfolding. And folks, a lot of it is there's just deep connections and soul connections and soul what do you want to call those? Soul families, soul commitments, so whatever you want to call that. And so we see things people making choices and decisions, and can be shocked and appalled by a lot of what we're seeing at the 8 degrees. It shows us stuff we just didn't know was there. Or if we did, like if we had the rumblings and we were like, oh, I don't know about that. Well, when Mercury goes to the 8 degrees, it does show us. Now, this can also be the flip side of this. You can see something positive by way of a friend that comes forward and shows you some of that Hercules energy and power. And in Pisces, yes, it can be deceptions and dreamy and fantasy, but Pisces can also be a sense of surrender and faith and hope and acceptance and understanding. So there might be that happening. Not right now, of course. We're waiting for the Mercury to get back. So you're going to be waiting a bit of time. Mercury's not too slow because it's a fast mover in general, but let me show you this real quick. So if we move it, yeah, there it is. Mercury's gone direct, and I'm still in March. So the big deal for you, and when I say big deal, it's pertaining to this thing in particular, the friendship, the group energy. This is anything that you're doing with streaming or online stuff, like tonight, like what we're doing. This would include that 11th house, because that's technology as well. So the 8 degrees, yeah, the Mercury is probably going to start to trigger it. Actually, okay, so Mars will be there. That's probably when it's going to happen first. So let me get to that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you're talking in the next 10 days, like 10 days out. I put it like this, 10 days out. So we're saying, like, I don't know, by the 13th, 14th at the latest, really, Mars will be conjunct your Hercules and your North Node, and the Mercury is going to be backing up on all of that. So maybe even March 12th. Yeah, that's really like 5 days away. And with that timeline, it can trigger the assistance of Hercules energy. And so typically the Hercules energy represents a struggle of some sort. Okay. And sometimes it can be an inner battle to keep the passion, maybe even anger and fight, because Mars is definitely going to be part of this. And then whatever Mars is, Sure, we can use the word passions, but Mars tends to be a little impatient, even in Pisces, because right now we all have, there's a lot of strong, angry energy with Chiron and Eris together. They're just, they're angry and there's wounds. And so it's Aries energy. And remember, Mars is one of the is a ruler of Aries. So we always kind of got to just think about connecting all those dots. Now, with all that said, this energy, what does this have to do with the beginning where Sirius in your chart and the 25 degrees and then Jupiter eventually getting there? Sometimes friends feel like family. Sometimes those are the connections. But your Sirius at 25 really talks about self and being a initiator, a starter, maybe even being kind of on the solo side and very independent. It's a pioneer energy. Your Sirius is at 25. So starting stuff. And because it's in the fourth house, starting like maybe looking for a new home, doing things differently in the home, but having a sense of strong independence within your own home is something that can be quite satisfying for you. This can represent mom as well, home and family, but mom especially. Maybe mom was combative, and that might come into play with the combative love hate kind of stuff I started talking about in the beginning, because you do have Pluto and Juno together, 23 and 26, but your Sirius exactly is between them in a square. You see? So it's one thing when we find people that feel good to us because there's this sense of understanding and soul connections. But when this is here too, when the square from Pluto and Juno, significant one-on-one relationships, maybe even marriage partnerships in domestic energy, it's almost like I kind of look at it. I don't want to use the word curse. That's the wrong word to use. Some people may view it that way though, where it's like you can get close to somebody, but then there might be this thing that always messes with it. And so at this time, right, when we look at March, just going out 7 days, 6, 7 days, whatever it is, uh, you're also going to have Pandora's box touching in. You see, the Pandora will be conjunct the Juno and the Pluto, and that means it's going to square your Sirius. So once all that stuff clears and moves, the Jupiter will eventually come through for you, and it will touch your Sirius, and that will initiate something. It'll be like a new beginning for you, new beginning, giving you some hope and optimism and faith because it's Jupiter and it's touching on your Sirius. So connections with women, feminine energy, home, family, literally can be a house, not just like, home as in, we're related type of home and family, but, even the property might be a thing. And when Jupiter comes over to there, maybe it even just comes about where all of a sudden family feels really good for you. That might be a thing too, where it might provide some understanding, because that's one of the powers of Jupiter. It connects the past, the present, and the future. So we have a little bit more patience and we're willing to hear people out a little bit more because we just feel that deeper connection to them. Even though, yes, there will still be a square, it will create a deeper connection because of Pluto and Juno. And Jupiter has the ability to come through and to make it all just a little bit on the better side. Okay. So the date on that for you, we're going to move this up. This is going to be when that Jupiter comes through and starts making contact and where you're feeling a little bit more on the optimistic side, hopefully for home and family and emotions and emotional security, home, housing, and feelings. So that's in May. Okay. So mid-May. Yeah. May 20th. And then the last part of May, from May 20th to the end of May. Because once we get past May, even to the beginning of June, you still have it a little bit. Yeah. You're going to have it, wow, all the way to like June. We'll say like June 10th, June 12th. Okay. So Jupiter can bring an abundance of good feelings, good vibrations. All right. An optimism, and maybe even travel in the plans. If that's something you're looking forward to, Jupiter can bring that upon you. Some people even travel to their homeland, where our ancestors came from type of thing, because you'll have a double amount of home and Jupiter energy. Okay. I hope that makes sense for you. And I hope it gives you some understanding for whatever it is, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, and something to look forward to, but to understand that whole Hercules thing is the thing you'll be dealing with first, okay? And you just got to remember patience and counting to 20 and stuff like that. I mean, we all do. All right, next one up. Where's our number 2? So is Joe, are you still here? I know you don't have a birth time. Are you still here? This will just simply be yes, I'm not going to read what somebody said about your chart, because, well, that's what they said about your chart. A chart that didn't have a birth time, so yeah. Joe's like, I'm still here. Okay. Can I make it larger? Size of a postage stamp. Well, then you need to find me on the horizontal format. You must be looking at me on the vertical. You're looking at me on the vertical format. Yeah. I'm up on another screen. If you go to my my channel page, Allastrology's channel page, just all you gotta do is press on the symbol for the channel. It'll take you to the channel page. Once you're there, go to live streams, and under live streams, it'll show you both the options of the vertical or the horizontal format. So folks who want to see a chart, you got to find the horizontal format. All right. So let me get your, hey, Happers, what's going on? I see you. Let me get Joe's chart drawn up real quick. Let me check the email. All right, this is going to be quick, Joe. Oh, let me get rid of this, though. Okay. Maybe that'll help. So no, that's not what I wanted to read. Yeah, whatever. Let me get to, your birth digits. That's what I need. You need to get your birth digits, Mr. Joe. I mean, if you really want someone to seriously take a look at your chart, you might want to make that a priority for yourself, okay? Alrighty, so oh, I'm saying Joe. I think you're a Jody. Sorry. Okay. And what I don't like about not having a chart or a birth time is it's really hard to, because it means you've never seen your chart. So I have no way to confirm really anything. Every blue moon, the software will get kind of glitchy, and I'll have a chart that isn't really their chart. And it's like, I have no way of knowing that. And I definitely don't want to spend my time reading a chart that's not your chart. Okay, so what is going on here? November 1st, got that. Oh, yeah, we're having some really weird stuff here. Okay. And we're just going to put you at noon so that we have a little something to go by. Okay, Floral Park, New York. Okay. And there we go. We're almost there. So, did you already give me a question or what you want me to look at? Remember, this is quick. This is not going to be long. It will not be the amount of time I spent on the previous chart. So, you're kind of going to have to work with me on that. Mars conjunct node, squaring Pluto, 4 degrees. Okay, yeah. Well, we need to see your chart. Let's see what I came up with here. It's not really what I came up with, but it's what the software is going to give us. So the software is giving us, let's get this on the screen. That's the other thing too. You want to see a chart, but well, yeah, what are the odds that this is your chart? I mean, the odds that this matches is, well, I guess it's 50-50, but I don't know about that. So I see what you're talking about. Your nodes are at 4 degrees. That would be constant, but it's the location of them that we can't talk about, okay? Because I don't have a birth time. So now the node being at 4, and right now you're talking about Mars. Here's Mars at 4. Okay, so that's a sextile to your north node. You see that? The Mars up in the sky is at 4 degrees in Pisces. Sextile is your north node, which means this Mars right here trines your south node. Okay, it's a Mars in Pisces. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the past for sure. We're talking about the past. And is your concern what happens? Let's see. The Mars is going to move. It'll trine your sun, then it'll trine your moon. Yeah, it really sucks not having. All right, you have Jupiter right now. Jupiter right now exactly trining your moon. You see that? Your moon is at 15 degrees. Let's do this. I don't know if you can see this or not. You got a moon at 15 degrees. You got a sun at 9 degrees. Yep, but Jupiter's over in Cancer at 15, so that's a nice trine. So now, what does all this mean? Well, there's because you have so much Scorpio energy, right? You're a Scorpio sun, you're a Scorpio moon. Anytime people have an abundance of Scorpio energy, okay, so you have a Jupiter Saturn at 0 degrees Scorpio, your midpoint. Then you have a Jupiter Neptune at 20 degrees. You have an abundance of Scorpio energy. Usually these are really, really psychic people. Honestly, Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun. People who are Scorpio moons, oh my God. Seriously. Yeah, those are folks. They're something. They're something. They're quite remarkable. You can usually spot them a mile away. All right, so you got past the Mars at 0 degrees. And I'm curious about that, even though you have Mars at 4, because you have Uranus at 0 degrees at water here, which means a Mars in Pisces, you would have had this huge, grand water trine. And Uranus is all about disruptions and shocks and surprises, Cancer energy. This talks about home and family, childhood possibly, but feminine energy, maybe even mom. It's at 0 degrees. This can be difficult energy. Let me check. Yeah, you're still on the vertical, though. May 19th, because Mars square Pluto is explosive, isn't it? So you want me to go to May 19th. Okay. Nodes will be... Yeah, you're definitely yeah. Well, that's what we have. Okay. So... Oh, I got this. Okay, so just so you know, the chart is drawn up for May 19th now, real quick. The nodes are at 4 degrees. Okay, let me see what else. Yes, Mars is at 0 there. I think that's you were talking about Mars being at 0. Now, according to this, having the Mars at 0 degrees, it's going to be at the opposite of your Jupiter Saturn midpoint. You have a Jupiter Saturn midpoint at 0 degrees in Scorpio energy. So let me see what else you're talking about here. I know you kept mentioning the nodes at 4, because you'll have the nodes. Yeah, North node trining your South node, and maybe that's what your concern is. Mars will be in your. Well, I can't even say that. Mars is in Taurus, values, desires, love, money, banking. North node trining your South node. This is normally talked about as a turning point in a person's life. In a way where you're getting aligned. You might be making some releases, some let goes. It's the number 4. Your node's at a 4 degrees. So again, the Cancer energy comes up, the past, the history. It is feminine energy. And it's in traumatic Scorpio energy. Might have to do with wounds of the past, trauma, betrayals. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Let me see what the Mercury's talking about here. I want to see your Saturn because to me, you have a Saturn. I don't know if you were able to. Anyway, you have Saturn at 4 degrees, and the South node up in the sky will be sitting on your Saturn. The Saturn is long-term financial security and stability. So the number 4 degrees can also represent the public. Because you've got Saturn at 4. Do I work with the public in some way? Saturn at 4 degrees. My long-term financial stability, security, my long-term goals, duty, responsibility, my work, my commitments, long-term commitments. Saturn is Father Time, literally. So the South node, transiting South node up in the sky, usually represents kind of a superpower. And it'll be touching upon your Saturn while the North node is trining your South node. Now, some folks, when they have an event like this, it's a time where, if we're not already retired, we could be facing retirement. We could be playing around with that, because it's a South node conjunct your Saturn, but your Hygeia is there as well. Yeah. Hygeia just gives us kind of a report card. Now, this may have to do with the health of your work. It is domestic energy. And at this time, this has happened. Oh, no, I can't say that. My bad. Let me back that up. I'm starting to read for the house that it's in, but that isn't going to work. So this is a time where you can kind of, Saturn is normally rewards and recognition. And so as the South node comes across that Saturn energy, it talks about a time of we got a cat, reaping what you have sown. So this has a lot to do with the past. So if you have sown seeds of goodwill and acted with due diligence, then this can be a satisfying, rewarding period in your life. However, if you have acted without integrity, then you may feel uncomfortable, as allegiances may change and groundwork may crumble. Usually, this is a combination that brings opportunities to begin something new and fresh. Long-term projects are likely to start now. Remember, Saturn, long-term. But the South node can bring kind of an intuitiveness and an intuition. Now, do you want me to use the word explosive in your chart? No. I don't know if I'm going to use that word for you. I mean, I have to see a lot of things lining up to use the word explosive. I have to see, yes, the nodes are a big deal. The fact that we don't have house cusp lines, if this was your chart, like if this matched your chart, then this would be more powerful. But we don't know that this is your chart. All we know is the planets and the locations at the degree. We don't know the location of the house number. So partnerships is lit for you. Partners. So marriage partners, so personal, but also professional partnerships is a thing here. And at the 4 degrees, and kind of having a report card on my work, the health of my work. It could even speak to your own health, but the health of the partnerships, because it's in your seventh house of partnership. Well, I can't say that. Sorry, I even said that already. I'm so programmed. Okay. So yeah, we don't know what houses this is in, but all I can tell you is there's things about the past. I'm looking at the Aquarius energy, and I'm looking at your Capricorn real quick because that's the only other information I can give you. So the thing is you have Capricorn. You okay? Let's see here. All right, I don't have a lot to go on. I don't got nothing really to go on in Capricorn. Because I don't know where it's located. You don't have a lot of items there. Okay, so usually Saturn in Virgo energy, these people are really good workers, very serious workers. They have an eye for detail. They can probably be a little too critical and boss energy even. But yeah, I wish I knew where everything else was located. The Mars at the 0 degrees. I'm looking to see what the big deal is going to be here for you. Now, it will touch this North Node, right? Within a few days after this. It won't take too long. But this North Node in Taurus, your money and finances, is a trine to your Saturn. You've lived with this your whole life. So when Mars touches on that, normally it activates new work, possibly a new goal, something new that I'm starting, that I'm beginning, because that's what Mars is, an activator. And it's triggering Saturn, new goal, new responsibilities, new duties. But it's very serious, which is good for Mars energy because it's disciplined. So yeah, I wish I had more to go off of on this for you. So yeah, if you're serious and you want me to take a deeper dive at another time, you could always come on back next week. You could always email me down below, and we could, take a deeper look. But I would, try to get your birth time. That would be great. Mars in square Pluto, it adds more power to Mars. But you have nothing to worry about, I don't think. I would be, Pluto has more power than Mars. Does that put your mind at ease? You're asking me what happens when the Mars up in the sky squares your natal Pluto. I don't know where your natal Pluto is located. I do know that your Pluto is at 16 degrees next to your Sirius, and so that is feminine energy. That is home and family. That's more moon energy, so it speaks to the past. Mars coming up and squaring that. Again, I'm still here. I've lived through a lot of Mars and Pluto squares. A ton of people have. Normally for me, it gives my Mars more energy. That's normally what happens. Yes, even though it's a square. Mars and Pluto have kind of a symbiotic relationship. They're kind of like Pluto's kind of like the uncle of Mars, so to speak. Mars can't take out Pluto. Let me put it to you like that. All right. So the difference is, you don't. It'd be more concerning if you had something at the matching degrees in Taurus. So maybe at the 14-degree mark, the fourth house cusp line, when Mars gets there, maybe there's an increased emotions for sure, because it'll be Mars. But normally it's Taurus energy, and Taurus wants peace. Taurus wants stability. But Mars will definitely get amped up because of Pluto energy. Again, and I just said your fourth house cusp line. That's incorrect because we don't have your cusp line, so I can't even talk about it that way. But that's how, if someone's reading your chart, that may be why they're reading it as being powerful, because they're going by your noon hour chart. And when you add the house cusp lines to it, then it can create more intense energy. But we don't know that that's your house cusp line. You see, which is why I just kind of overlooked that, because you don't have a planet in Taurus at 14, 15, or 16. You don't have anything there. So, yeah, you need a chart with birth digits or with birth time. That would help. All right. Hope that helped. Might have made you more confused. I apologize if it did. All right, Fairy there. Are you still here, Fairy there? You're up. Number 3 is Fairy there. Oh, yeah. Fairy there is here. Lou S is here. Oh, yeah. Lou S is here too. Look at that. Fairy there. It's been a while. Have you been able to travel? Have you been having a good time? Fairy there. I might not have you in this new system. Let me see. I don't know. I can't remember who's in this new system. I'm in the Fs. No. All right, Fairy there. We would have to put your digits in again. So let's see. Fairy there said sort of. Okay, Fairy there, you're up. I'm going to need your digits. Let me see if you sent them to the email. Oh, you did. Oh, thank you. Oh, you sent a channel gift. Thank you very much. I'm going to need your digits. Thank you for the generous Cash App for the channel gift. Fairy there, appreciate that. Fairy there's like, what the heck, man? You don't have my digits. I don't. I'm using different equipment, a different system, and I've just been kind of slowly getting people over to the new system. Okay, thank you. I know I should have it memorized, right? It's been a while, though. It's been a while since you've been here, which is fine. I know how life works. When the going gets rough and life becomes uncertain. I know. Oh, I don't need a comma. Okay, great. You got a birth time. Great. Okay. And let's see. Can I spell? Yeah, I can. On a good night, my spelling is right. And yeah, sometimes with Mercury retrogrades, especially, man, like I said, this one has just affected me in a whole lot of ways. Well, I don't think I spelled fairy there correctly, but that's okay. Fairy there, you remember your chart, your ascendant, right? Libra? Was it at 8 degrees? Because that's what this chart system just gave me. I hope it's spot on for you. If not, we'll make an adjustment. Does that look right to you? 8 degrees? I know you had a loaded first house of Libra. Let me see. Okay, yeah. How come I'm not using my phone? It might be better if I can read that stuff. Okay, she says, yeah. Oh, great. Okay, so what's your question? Let's see what your Fairy there, I didn't know you were looking to move. That's your question? Oh, the last time we talked, you were fixing up the house and we were talking housemates and stuff. It's been a while. Holy crap. Maybe that was your long-term plan that I don't. Yeah, I just remember the whole, fixing up the house, having housemates, and then, selling some other stuff, but then travel and having a good time, enjoying life. That was all I knew. That was your short-term plan. That was all I knew. Now it's, I need to get the hell out of here. Okay, got you. Got you. So so let's let's check this out for you. Let's see. Let me look at this chart. It's been a minute. Okay, you got nodes at 4 degrees. Look at that. Okay. That number's coming up a lot tonight, isn't it? Okay, so your 4th house cusp line is 9 degrees of Cappy. Okay. Your moon, 23 degrees of Libra. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, let me go check something else real quick here for you since you let me see what your thing is this year. All right, so oh, no wonder. You're in a Mars year. Mars is impatient. Mars is fired up. Mars wants to take action. Mars does not want to sit around. Mars is ready to go solo, actually, too. That's very independent energy. So you have this very independent, fiery energy all the way until October of 2026. So taking action energy, they're showing me April for Venus and Libra energy for you. Okay, that's interesting because that can be contracts. Libra energy. But your Libra's in your 1st house. Okay, so let's check. Let's check another chart real quick here for you. 2020. Okay. 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 So Mercury busy. Okay. So you're right now you're in a Mercury Sun. Okay, so you're really focused on self right now. This doesn't mean this isn't about saying somebody is being self-centered or selfish. It's just that you're in a Mars year, right, which is all about self and being impatient. And I'm not calling you these things. I'm just saying Mars is easily fired up. But then you're also in a sun year, like a Mercury sun year. So this brings my mind is thinking about self and, my ability to create and to stand out and some independence for sure. Breaking away into type of energy. So that is going to be with you until November of 2027. Okay. That's a long ways off. Okay. So it's a great time to be talking, communicating, relating, networking, and creating. That's good energy to be in for what you're planning on doing. And it's under the Mercury realm, which is business and negotiations and selling. So if you're looking to sell, if that's the plan, having this kind of energy as you're in the background, I would say that's good, especially because Mars can give you that, that ability to start to kind of pioneerish kind of thing. Like, I want to sell. Do I know where I'm going? Do you feel like you know where you're going? Do you have, now let's put up the transits now that we have a little bit of the backstory for you. So, yeah, Mars is in your Aries energy in your 6th house, right? Oh, I'm sorry. There's a cat in the room standing on the keyboard. Hold on. Come on. Oh, Lord. Okay, hold on a minute. I got to move the cup. Okay, just give me a minute. I need the keyboard. Come on. You want to come on up? Get off the keyboard. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized that the freaking microphone was off. Zoe must have pressed it. So that means Zoe pressed the. Oh Lord, I am so sorry. What a bummer. Okay, long story short, because I don't know what you heard or didn't hear, but hopefully you have the house on the market. Can you guys hear me? Can I get a confirmation on that? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not realize, and I was not staring at the. I wasn't looking at StreamYard. I went to go look at your comment to see if what you had to say about what I said, and it showed me the microphone was off. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So sorry. So long story short, after all of that, you have a lot of support for selling. Hopefully your house is already on the market. If it's not, there is a lot of energy for contracts, for your strong Venus of selling, and Mercury in Gemini energy, property, networking, contracts, and yeah, even Pluto and Neptune are part of this story for you. Pluto and Neptune are going to be activated. South Node conjunct your Pluto, but this goes from the beginning of May to the beginning of June. That's a really concentrated time of where money and sales and selling and negotiations and lots of options and opportunity. You know, you're even going to have Mercury going through the ninth house and Venus going through the ninth house for that month. And that raises the, because ninth house is lawyers, right? And Gemini is sales. Okay. And you have Saturn right there in the third house. So this South Node will be trining your Saturn, which trines your Venus, which trines your Pluto. So it's all going to get activated. Okay. So I say yes. If this is what you're looking to do, then yep, you have the support. It's just a matter of how far along you are on that plan and what you're doing. But you have a lot of support in your chart to make this change. And it looks like it could happen fast because it's Saturn and Pluto. Your long-term financial stability gets activated here. And I was saying that we don't know if Venus or Jupiter is the great benefic of your chart because of the way your chart is set up with your sun just below the horizon line. I mean, just above the horizon line. It's so close. But you'll even have Venus touching your midheaven and then Mercury. And your midheaven is your long-term financial security. The midheaven is long-term commitments. Like we're making an agreement. We're signing an agreement. So for what you're planning on doing, I think you have a ton of support to do this. Okay. Okay, you are staying in the vicinity. Okay. Okay. Well, what's interesting about staying in the vicinity and the options is that at that time, because when we see Gemini energy, we usually are looking over a lot of options. Yeah. Because Venus and Mercury will be there between May and June. And so that's a time where it's not just about you doing the selling, but it's about you looking as well for yourself. And your Saturn. Yeah. Material, tangible security. Yeah, I didn't even consider the Jupiter either because it was the Venus that's at your midheaven. But so much support with the nodes and your Pluto and your Venus and your Saturn and the Neptune. If you didn't hear me talk about the Neptune, you'll even have the Neptune coming upon your South Node at 4 degrees home. Yeah. Neptune comes up on it and says, oh, we're no longer going to have this. We're no longer going to have this. This is gone now. And once Neptune passes it, we'll have to establish a new daily routine. Does that make sense for you? I know. I talked and talked and talked. You didn't hear a damn thing I was saying. So sorry about that. But that was the shortcut, or that was the short version, the condensed version, the Cliff Notes. I'm an enigma. Well, that might be true, but what I will say is this event, if it happens in that timeline, if Venus is your great benefic, we'll know then if it happens in that timeline, because the Jupiter doesn't mean it can't produce, but it doesn't trine your Jupiter until further down the line. Not much further, but like a month later. You follow? So maybe, I mean, because this is all pretty fast, actually, right? I mean, we're already in March. We're talking May, June, and then Jupiter will connect to your Jupiter in July. You'll have Jupiter trining Jupiter. Yeah. And that Jupiter's in your second house of cha-ching. Yes. So I think this can be very beneficial for you. I'm trying to see. Yeah, because then you'll even have Mars. On this day that's on the chart, just keep in mind the Pandora's box on the 19th, 18th, 19th, 20th of May. Partnerships, Mars conjunct that. Pandora's box can be opening a can of worms. You know about all that stuff already. But just keep it in mind. It's Mars and Taurus, so it's going to be over values and just something to, have a little patience with. And it might be something, when it's a can of worms, it's something that we might, just didn't realize. Like, oh crap, I wish I'd never done that. Now, this is in partnerships, but this can, it can be personal, it can be professional. But overall, the Pandora's box doesn't normally trigger like some huge, bad event. It seems to be their I don't know, like a major annoyance, especially with Mars. Major annoyance, that kind of energy. Yeah, so if you look carefully on this chart too at this time, see the Pluto at 528, it's retrograding now. And it connects with your Pluto at 5 degrees. You see that? Now that 5 degrees, children, right? Children, fun, joy, creativity, taking a risk, romance. That's that Pluto in your 4th house retrograding. And all that means is more support for change. More support for change, because Pluto will connect with your natal Pluto. It does create like an irritation, though. It's this quincunx energy, so it is a little bit irritating. But I'm not overly concerned, because at the same time, the same Pluto will also make contact with your Neptune, which is at 5 degrees. Yeah. So that can, having Neptune in the middle of that can kind of add a little bit of ease, a little bit of understanding, a little bit of acceptance. But just be smart. Anytime Neptune's involved, we just want to be a little bit more savvy, because Neptunes can sometimes, throw those little clouds of confusion and delusions and illusions and a little fantastical. But it looks like you're on your way for some big changes. All right. Well, if you're ready, then hopefully you got your chart. Hopefully you got your house on the market then. I mean, to me, the bigger deal would be, finding a place, isn't it? Yeah. The selling of isn't usually the big deal, at least not in the markets we've got, right? Where there's a housing shortage. It's the finding the next stage. But if you've already done all that hunting and that homework, yeah, then I think you're going to be just fine. It is an interesting chart. Yep. She does. She's got a very fascinating chart. You're welcome. Yeah, but it's no wonder knowing how, you're under that Mars. You're in the pioneer Mars energy. Yeah. But you're also in a Mercury energy, which is really good for sales. So being on the market, selling and looking and buying, it's both. So, yep. Just be savvy, which I'm sure you will be. Yes. Keep the antenna up. Exactly. You got it. Okay. All right. So next, Frank, it's you. All right, Frank, we're looking for, well, this is a common question for everybody. Everybody's like, show me the money. Where's the money? I don't know where our show me the money lady is tonight, but she literally comes in and says, show me the money. All right, Frank. We got you on. There we go. Okay, so what's Frank got going on? Okay, you got that midheaven at 18. You have Jupiter sitting on a Jupiter-Uranus midpoint right here. Did you see this? Good God, like you need more Uranus energy. All right. Well, it keeps your mind thinking about new and fresh and different and exciting. That's for sure. Yeah. And that's just like the story here. And I think, Frank, because the number 11 and Uranus energy is such a big deal in your chart, it makes me wonder. The showing the money thing, like, where's the money? Give me the money. It might be kind of a battle sometimes for you, huh? Like, do I want to do that? Technology is a big deal for you, but also hopefully it's easy for you. I mean, it's all over your chart. All right, Frank, so let's see. Let's see real quick for you on this other chart, since we've asked this question multiple times. Okay. Wow. So your Aquarius energy of new and exciting is basically with you until January of 2027. No wonder. No wonder. So your Aquarius energy is in your first house, and there is you have that Sirius at 0 degrees, which says, I'm always looking for something new and exciting and different and unique. But yet freedom and independence is huge. And that's what the money brings, right? Yeah, the independence, the freedom. So I'm thinking, as I'm looking at this, that we might need to use Uranus for you as a guiding force here. Like Uranus getting back to 0. But what about this Pluto? Will the Pluto make some changes? I know you've been looking for a while. Yeah, you've got Mercury sitting here going over your Chiron of values and income and love and money in your second house. You see that? Mercury and the Sun are right here, like, hey, man, where's the money? And then Pallas Athena, the thinker, thinking about it, trying to strategize for it. So the Mercury's going to go back to 8. That won't be a thing for you, but then Mercury will go forward. So she does go over your second house cusp line of values and money and income. And then she will trine your moon too. Oh, she's trining your moon now. So Mercury can bring you opportunities and choices for money because she's going over that second house cusp line. And Pisces being very creative, Mercury, you know, part of the digital world is Mercury. I would love to say that this Mercury touching your Pallas Athena could trigger something exciting and new because your Uranus energy is right across the way. You see? So it can bring that. It can also bring, you know, upsets and disruptions. God forbid, power stuff. But hopefully something good. Let's see if we can get it to go. Uranus and Mercury. Your natal Mercury's conjunct your Venus up there. You see this right here, Frank? This talks about how you're going to make money, right? Because this is your Venus, your income, your money. Jupiter is your great benefic. A lot of strong energy with the independence and the fiery, but also love. But the constant seek and search thing, that's probably always going to be a thing for you because it's in that sign of Saggy, who's always searching and seeking, always on that journey and different ideas and with connected to values and money and even love. So yeah, you have Jupiter sitting on this Jupiter Uranus. And if you're saying nothing's triggered for you yet, you know, maybe a little something, something in the next 5, 6, 7 days. And what I mean by that, I don't know. Additional work coming your way, more opportunities to make more money. You know, people are always like, when are we going to, you know, where's the money? You know, some people are waiting on settlements with lawyers. Some people, you know, it just, yeah, this Jupiter can be that, you know, if that's something that which is the only reason I bring that up is Jupiter is lawyer energy. But you probably use yours in a really creative way because that's Jupiter. And that's probably what you've been doing with it. Is just making, you know, more creating. Will some of those creations make you some money, right? That might be something where you're like, hell yeah. You do have Pisces in the second house. So I'm saying we have to kind of probably wait for Jupiter. You'll have Jupiter 29 degrees on your descendant. And since it's your great benefic, and you are in Aquarian energy, but I'm still going to go back to finding Uranus for you. So let's see when those line up. Okay, Jupiter will be at 19 then. Okay, well, in May, that's not too far off. You are going to have Uranus going back into Gemini energy. And that will ding your Sirius at 0 degrees. Okay, that gives a little bit of a ding. Something that makes you feel emotionally secure and satisfied. Technology, though, because it's Uranus energy, but possibly sales, possibly selling something, possibly. But networking and talking, it is definitely digital stuff and tech because it's Uranus and Gemini. Yeah. You see how we're going to have Uranus and Venus together here? So they're both trining your Sirius at that point. You see, this is like a out of sign trine, but they will trine it. Now, is that a little something? Yes, probably a little something because I need for people to have like a big windfall I need to see like major changes all over the chart. So when people say, show me when some money is coming, I'm like, well, what kind of money are we talking about here? Now, I will say that this Pallas Athena at this time, this particular time we're looking at like the second, third week of April, like April 20th to like April 23rd, 24th. This Pallas Athena is at 29th. So she's trining your descendant energy, your partnerships, that's a nice trine while these are here at 29 degrees. Okay. Now, you don't have anything in Gemini at 0 or even anything in Taurus at the 29. So I don't expect this to be like something big. Okay. Because I would need to see multiple things lining up. So the Jupiter on this day is only at 18. So we're looking further down the line then for something possibly a little bit bigger, especially right now with Jupiter at 15 and your own Jupiter at 16, and it's a Jupiter retrograde and nothing triggered. There's no, I made a little extra money, or I have other opportunities to make some money, some little side money or something. If none of that's been triggered, then I'm saying, well, what the heck? Why isn't your Jupiter producing? You know, your Jupiter's your great benefic. It should be producing something. And maybe it is, but maybe it's just not enough. I could understand that. I think a lot of us could definitely understand that. So here's Jupiter going to be on your descendant, getting close to your descendant. And here's the thing, it's going to be Jupiter and Venus together, getting close to your descendant. So maybe that's the next opportunity of something to kind of look forward to. It's partnership energy. So love and money, because it's Venus and Jupiter, the two great benefics together. This is the beginning of June. This is June 6th, 7th, 8th. These aren't exactly at 29, but they are conjunct your ascendant. They're at 24 and 25 degrees. But the 25 degrees, just so that sparks to something new. It might be new love, possibly, because it's Venus in Cancer, it's Jupiter in Cancer, somebody or something that feels familiar to you, strong feminine qualities, possibly. But it could also have to do with money, okay? You also have Mercury going through the 6th house of work, projects, tasks, the things that we have to do to make a living. Also health. Mercury's on your Hygeia at that time. So home and family and mom energy. That's what we're talking and thinking about. As far as your second house, the node is getting, the node's already past your second house and the opportunity of making money. So we got to see what else is going to be here real quick. The Uranus energy. Yeah, we already talked about that. And now it's moved on. I'm just looking for some other things here that might trigger. You will have Mercury coming up on your Cancer energy and the Hygeia, and they will trigger your midheaven, which triggers your Neptune. More opportunities to create professionally. Neptune at the midheaven. At the Scorpio energy. Yeah, that combination of Neptune and Scorpio, I think healer, I think, someone who can dissolve the wounds of the past. You've got Neptune and Scorpio on your midheaven. And the problem with midheaven energy for all of us, not just you, but for all of us, that is stuff that we're like supposed to do. You know, we just kind of keep working at it little by little. And we hope and pray to God that we get paid for it. But whether we get paid for it or not, we just diligently keep working at it. It's like a vocation. And that's the part that kind of sucks, right? Because if we're doing it, well, we need money. We need to live, right? We want to get paid. So, maybe, just maybe, when Jupiter comes back up again, to bring this back to present day, Jupiter's here at 15 degrees, right? It's retrograding. It will come back up in its numbers, but this whole time it's been retrograding, it's been trining your midheaven and your Neptune. It's not that far away. So to me, a Jupiter retrograde should have produced something for you, should have produced opportunities that have to do with your long-term goals. And I'm hoping your tasks, your projects, your routine, and with that, your money, because you have water in your second house, but it might be because of the Chiron too. So maybe it needs Jupiter to pull away from the Chiron energy that you have there, the wound, right? Right now, this should be a time where hopefully you're seeing more opportunities. If you're creating, which I'm hoping that's what you're doing, and maybe putting your stuff out there and somehow hopefully finding a way to make some money, it's just hard. It is. Talk to anybody who's a creator. It's so hard to get paid for what we love to do, what we create. It's, starving artist and all that business. There's a reason they have that saying. It's a real thing. So, you know, you do it, you get to a point where you got to do it so that you're happy because it's just who you are, you know. So, yeah, I hope that helps in some way. I know it doesn't seem too optimistic, but there can be some opportunities. But to me, honestly, if the Jupiter retrograde doesn't produce, yes, it can produce again for you later on, especially when it triggers your midheaven. And so that midheaven for you, Frank, it'll get a little bit closer over the next few weeks. It'll start talking to it once we get into April, like mid-April. Look for an opportunity then. Does that mean it's going to be there and it's going to come through? No, it's just me telling you that's when you got Jupiter, who's supposed to be your great benefic, talking to your midheaven. And I like that, it talking to your midheaven works because your Saturn that rules that midheaven is in Pisces, is in water. It should be a time where they're connecting, and it has to do with long-term financial stability. So let's see if it produces for you. I really hope it does, because I know you've been working at it. Okay. Thank you for all the notes that I'm just seeing now. The all caps. We can't hear you. That's when I'm reading the chart. I never read the chat. Yep. That's the problem. Zoe, I should have just checked. I made a mistake. Zoe rarely comes in here. I'm so sorry. But these things happen. This is a human on this side. Ain't no AI around this joint, okay? Real cats, real people. Yeah. Real astrology, real stories, real lives. That's what this is about. And I really don't know who the hell is next. All right, we just got done with Frank. So after Frank, Lady Lovelace. Is Lady Lovelace gone? It's a possibility. Oh no, Lady Lovelace said I'm still here. Okay, Lady Lovelace, did you send me your digits? Lady Lovelace, did you give me your digits? I know you said I had them in the other chart system. I forget the name already, sorry. But I don't have them now, so yeah. All right. All right, so yeah. So, Lady Lovelace, I'm really sorry if you've waited this long and we don't have your chart. But I kind of thought we discussed this earlier, and I told you I don't have your chart. So when I don't have someone's chart, I have to pass them up. And if I don't have your digits, that means I don't have your chart. You sent again, but you should have them. You sent again? Okay, so hopefully that means you sent them to the email, I'm assuming, because I just checked the email. Didn't see anything. Let me look again. Staring at my email. Nope, I don't see any digits from you in my email. I don't see an email from you. I see Frank's fairy there. I see the cash apps, the gifts that have been sent, but I don't see digits. And this whole time you've waited. Yeah. Okay, so all right, well, Sent again, but you should have them. I don't. Just so you know, I do not. All right. With that said, going to the next name. Apologize, but I can't read a chart I don't have. And I'm not going to feel bad about it because I just can't let myself feel bad about that. I just can't. That's just not right to me. All right. Okay. So after Lady Lovelace, I'm trying to figure it out. We're getting there. Okay. We're rolling along. All right. Yes, I Sharp, you're next. You are up. And I believe I saw your digits in the chat. So that I can do. I can create a chart and get you on here. Okay, let's find you out here. Let's make sure you're still here, though. iSharp, are you still here? iSharp might not even be here any longer. If I don't see your name in the chat, iSharp, if you're here waiting for your reading, you got to let me know. If I don't see you, I thought I saw your digits and everything. iSharp may have left. Huh. Yeah, I don't see iSharp in the reading any or in the chat. Oh, it is there. iSharp, you are there. Okay. There you go. All right, thank you. That helps a whole bunch. All righty. August 4th, 1975. And we got Utah. That's an AM. SLC. I'm assuming that is Salt Lake City. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's saying it's spelled wrong. Okay. 6:30. I don't know why that time. Let's go fix that. Okay, so what am I looking at? Have you seen your chart before? Let's check this out and see. So this chart is a August 4th, 1975, 6:30 a.m. Salt Lake City, Utah. We've got a Leo ascendant and the sun right on the ascendant. Is this your chart? Aquarius energy, another chart. Strong Aquarius energy. Oh, Cynthia, you're too damn sweet. I just looked at my phone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so my text, okay, my phone, I don't know what's going on there. Let me go check it in the chat. So yes, Salt Lake City is your ascendant Leo energy at 11 degrees. That's the question, because I need to know, does this chart look like your chart? Is it your chart? Part of it more of a natal chart I've seen. I don't even understand that. I don't understand that. Okay, this night is turning into gibberish. You guys can't hear me. I'm not understanding what is going on. I know there's a delay, so I understand that piece of it. My question is, are you a Leo rising at 11 degrees? That's my question. Now, you might not know that, and if you don't, then please say, I don't know. That would help me. At that point, it's okay. And yeah, if you don't know if this is you, then I'll just do a quick read, and we'll call it a day. Because I have no way to confirm or deny whether it's your chart then. And I think you said relationships. Okay, so let me take a little look here at your basic energy relationships. You've got a Pluto at 7 degrees in Libra. Okay, that trines your 11th house cusp line at 6 degrees in Gemini. You know, wherever Pluto is, this can be kind of tricky. Having Pluto and Libra energy. People who have Pluto and Libra in their partnerships, they want to see growth. First of all, they want to see people who have depth. People can't be all surfacey. They got to see that there's some depth involved in them. Okay. But they also want to see change and growth. That's going to be pretty important in relationships, personal and professional. So you also have practical, logical Virgo, I think, in the second house, which can be helpful because she can be down to earth, although she's at 11 degrees. If this is your chart, you've got so much 11 degrees here. You've got a lot of Aquarian and Uranus independent energy. A lot of very independent and new and exciting energy. So for a Virgo that has a Venus, which I would say is like a down-to-earth values, but at the 11 degrees, she's a little spicy. She wants some excitement. You don't have a plain Jane Virgo when it comes to these things. You know, she's like, you better not give me no damn vacuum cleaner. Oh, actually, she would like, you know, maybe the newest tech gadget or something, or the newest, like if there's a high-tech vacuum cleaner, something like that, right? 11 degrees Virgo. But she likes exciting and new. And your sun is at 11 degrees of Leo, according to this as well. So understanding who we are in our basic nature when it comes to love and values, how we receive is important. What does love look like to us? You know, that whole love language thing. So in relationships, you're going to probably want a little bit of spontaneity. And you know, you might welcome disruptions even. And something that is, you know, not just the same old all the time. Even though Virgo can be quite organized and meticulous, right? That little spiciness with the 11 degrees you have can kind of amp things up. You do have a lot of strong energy for feminine energy too. 28 degrees comes up a couple of times. This is moon energy. You also have a very, if this is your correct, you know, time and everything in your chart, you have a Cancer moon, strong feminine energy, emotional energy, what I need to feel nurtured, strong feminine energy, family, mom, family around me, or to be a mom, or my mom, you know, women who feel like a mom, who feel nurturing, or people in general who have a strong nurturing quality. So that's in your place of friendships, but it's going to have a lot to do with significant relationships, personal and professional relationships. So I think having Aquarius energy on your descendant is important to acknowledge, because this is the house of relationships, is the 7th house. You have 11 degrees there, which is new and different, right? Can be really young people, but can be senior citizens and older people at the 11 degrees. But disruptions, new and different, but it is strong group energy too, and friends. 11 degrees is friends. So you might see that you have a lot of friends, especially if it's in the online world, because you got that Gemini energy all in your 11th house, learning online, communications online, but different, new, outside of the box, strong, rebellious energy, because your mind works that way as well. You've just got a lot of Uranian energy in your chart in general. So feminine energy, again, a big deal. And as far as relationships, friends and groups, people who are unconventional, quite unique. Now, with all that said, what does it have to do with relationships right now? I don't know. Let's see. You have Pandora's box sitting on your Uranus. That's what you've been going through in relationships. Sudden, disruptive, shocks and surprises, what I'm thinking about, what I'm learning. Uranus can be an authority figure, can be your own authority of your own life, the authority in the relationship. This can be professional relationships too, but Pandora's box can be a can of worms, and she's been there. That's not like brand new. This has been a thing in terms of communications. This has been going on for a while, actually. She's been messing around with you. Probably, yeah, it's been months at least that I can tell real quickly that I'm looking at here, because I know she's been in Scorpio and retrograded back into Libra. So that can make it hard. You have a 0 degrees for your IC if this is your chart. 0 degrees is intense. 0 degrees of Scorpio and 0 degrees of Taurus in your emotions. That means your emotions run really deep. They can be unbelievably powerfully intense. And when that it trines your moon. So you have some really deep contacts, soul contacts. All right, really deep. They go back far. But at the same time, there can be some overwhelming energy intuitively, empathically. Scorpio's really psychic. There's a strong connection to feminine energy and the past and trauma, big time. Okay. With all of that, Scorpio is also about trust. And so if we've got a lot of trauma, because it's in the house of deep emotions, it can be hard to establish relationships. Sure, maybe business relationships, maybe those are a little bit easier. Maybe they're not as hard to come by. Maybe, because there's a lot of air to support the communication factor, right? In the 2nd and the 3rd house, the 7th house and the 11th, of talking and communication and just making contact. But it's the deep emotional bonds of the Scorpio energy which challenges trust, and which says, I don't just give that shit away freely. And people have to prove themselves. And I don't wear my emotions maybe necessarily on my sleeves, because in Scorpio's deep vulnerabilities. So if there's issues with relationships, and if that's what you're searching for, or if there is a current struggle, this Pandora's box on Uranus is probably, kind of stir up a can of worms, I like to say, especially since it's Uranus up here and this here. So you got Uranus up there at 27, making contact with your Uranus in relationships. It's a quincunx, which means it makes things uncomfortable. Yeah, very uncomfortable. Okay. And then this can't help. That's got to make it a little bit more like, oh God. So this is all in communication, though, talking and communication. Again, this may have to do with somebody You know, if you're in a relationship and if you thought it was a serious relationship, or if it's marriage, like if you're already married, if you've already made a long-term commitment, because Uranian energy can be kind of on the disruptive side of something like that. And you see the South Node in Taurus? That's where Uranus is, in the South Node in Taurus, in the 10th house of long-term commitments. You see that in the 10th house. And Uranus has been messing with you. It went back, it retrograded back to 27. Uranus retrograded back to 27 more than once, which means every time it did that, it went over your South Node. Values, money, income, job, but also, professional and personal relationships. So if you're still in them, but it's been a challenge, then we see why, clearly. If you're looking for something new and different, I would have patience and wait it out. You need, for a lot of these things that are all about disruption, to just get the hell out of the way, to move and to get off of your node and to get off of your Uranus. You need things to clear out, to move away. This is not a time. This is a time of, like we throw stuff up on the wall and we see what sticks. You got to just going to have more patience. Let's see. You're going to have Jupiter touching Juno. Once it goes direct, Jupiter is partnerships. And you've got it right next to your Saturn. These are long-term partnerships. Again, this can be personal and professional. 12th house represents overseas, or someone who's a foreigner in some way. Possibly going back to the homeland, the mother country even, because it's Cancer in the 12th house, like where your people are from. It's mom's family, mom's lineage type of stuff. Okay. It's going to be a minute before Jupiter gets back there. But if this is your chart, because your sun is so close to the horizontal line here, I don't know if Venus or Jupiter is your great benefic. This makes it very tricky. But if it's Jupiter, we'll know. Jupiter will bring some assistance and some help, hopefully. If you're looking for that, if you need that, Jupiter's going to get, by the very serious partnership kind of energy, this is like in May. In the first 10 days of May, like May 8th, May 9th, Jupiter gets really close to Juno, which is considered partnership energy, marriage energy. And you even have the Juno on this side getting close to your descendant. You see that? Jupiter's going to be touching your Juno, and then this gets close to your descendant. So your descendant being in Aquarius speaks to new, fresh, exciting, different. So if we're in a relationship, then maybe we kind of feel a rebirth. If we're ending a relationship and looking for something new, then there's a possibility for something new too. Okay. In your chart, you have a strong connection between your group energy and friends and communication and partnerships. So it kind of speaks to having options, because it's almost like with the 11 degrees in your chart so strong, and with Uranus so strong, the disruptions and the new and the exciting is almost like something you can count on, because it's just part of your chart. It's part of the basic energy of your chart. You even have your sun at 11 degrees, conjunct Mercury at 14, love. You see? And romantic sign of Leo and taking risks. So there's something there that wants to connect, and that's about standing out and lighting up a room when I walk in. But being different and unique is super important. But it's also friend energy. So with that said, it looks like you will be having some exciting times ahead. Yeah, Pandora can be a can of worms for sure. I've heard some really Not like bad stories, but things where it literally was, "Oh god, I wish I'd never done that," or "I wish I'd never said that." You know, where you just open the can of worms and it just brings up all these other things that were it's like if you had just left well enough alone, you know? Oh, Christy, we were talking about you. I was talking about where's the lady that comes in and says, "Show me the money." Okay, so we literally have 5 minutes left. And so, what I want you all to do, or whoever hasn't had their chart looked at yet, send me your digits to my email so that I have them ready for the next live stream. You follow? That way I can put you into my system. Okay. If I don't have you in my system, then I can't read your chart. All right. Next Saturday is the astrology class. It is a private astrology class. It's the second Saturday of every month. I should have said this at the beginning of the live stream. It's the second Saturday of every month. If you want in on it, that's fine. Send me an email. The classes are very affordable so that I'm hoping people can, I want it to be able to touch a lot of lives. That's the main thing. They're done at a very beginner pace, but also I include nuggets that make it appeal to people who feel like, oh, I already know astrology. You follow? So don't ever feel like you don't know enough or that you know too much. All are welcome. Okay. So send me an email if you want in on that. And then we'll be back the following Saturday to do this again. Okay. Private lives. I think I have some openings for the last Saturday of every month. We do this, but we do it privately. If you want in on a private lives, those are limited spaces. So you have to contact me as soon as possible if you want to be a part of that. And I'll send you the details through the email. Okay. The email, I'm sorry, I don't have an email up there. Maybe the email is right below the live stream. Allastrology@gmail. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Hey, Haffers, have a good night. Okay. Thank you, Lou. Yeah. You know, it's been it's been crazy. Yep. You are welcome. Thank you for the channel gift. For folks who sent me channel gifts tonight, thank you so much for all your generosity. That helps me to keep doing what I'm doing, helps me to keep helping you. It helps me to keep coming back. I appreciate it. We will be here 2 weeks from tonight. We'll be back doing the same thing. All right. So for those of you who want to see me privately, next week we'll do the Astro class with G. Send me an email. And that way you learn your own chart. You follow? The value in that. Yeah. It's enormous. Learn your own chart, folks. That way you don't got to come on here and ask me questions. Do you know what I'm saying? You learn your own chart. You can get a basic understanding and you can get a basic feel for the cycles and the timing of things that happen in your life. You don't have to be like this perfected astrologer type of crap. All right. We're out. We are done. See you guys in 2 weeks if I don't see you next week. Everybody take care, and I will see you. Bye-bye. Almost muted again. Christ, why does my microphone keep getting muted?
छाया आसमां